In this video, I'm going to set up my road bike to go tubeless for the first time. Hey everybody, thanks for visiting my channel. When you subscribe, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment saying you subscribed. You're automatically entered to win a Wahoo Element Roam or a GoPro Hero 9 Black. It's your choice. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to randomly give away the prize to one lucky recipient in gratitude for reaching my first milestone. So help out a small YouTuber and subscribe. And be sure to check out my other videos for more cycling content covering bike product reviews, bike fit, and rides. Well, I'm finally taking the plunge and going tubeless. More and more every day, the cycling world is making the transition into a tubeless wheel setup. There's a lot of debate and varying beliefs on whether this is a worthwhile endeavor, especially on a road bike. A lot of people, including myself, have wondered why bother switching from reliable inner tube setup to going tubeless. With some of the pros I've heard about going tubeless, I've decided to give it a shot and see for myself whether it's a worthwhile endeavor to go to this setup. Well, here are some of the advantages to going to a tubeless setup. Now the pros. Most ball punctures will self-seal with the sealant you add to the tire in a tubeless setup. Also, there's a less chance of getting a flat on your ride having small puncture protection. The tire is less likely to separate from the rim if you do get a flat. You can also run your tires at a much lower pressure, improving traction on many different surfaces. And this lower tire pressure will also provide a more comfortable ride. Now here are some of the downsides or cons of going tubeless. A tubeless setup is considerably more expensive than the classic inner tube setup. This is probably the biggest reason a lot of people aren't doing this already. Fitting is definitely more difficult, possibly more messy with the sealant, and it takes a lot more time to accomplish. If you do have a puncture that doesn't self-seal, you will have to have a spare inner tube with you or you'll be stranded wherever you're at. If you do hit a bump hard enough, this can cause tire pressure loss and sealant to escape, which could leave you in a bad situation. Sealant does harden over time and does need to be resurfaced around every 2 to 6 months based on the requirements of the particular sealant used. The sealant itself can clog the valve stem. Well, with all that being said, I'm going to give it a shot and set up my DT Swiss wheels here to a tubeless configuration. And I'll make my own conclusions as to whether I think going to tubeless route is worth it. My biggest reason for going tubeless is the extra puncture protection on a ride, and also the possibility of a more comfortable ride seems worth trying. First of all, you have to make sure that your tires are tubeless compatible. Definitely don't assume that your wheels will accept a tubeless setup. You have to be absolutely sure because running a tubeless setup on a non-tubeless wheel is very dangerous. All right, and here's everything you're gonna need to set up your wheels for a tubeless setup. My DT Swiss wheels are already wrapped with tubeless rim tape, so I'm ready to go there, but in any other instance, you would need rim tape to set up your wheel for a tubeless setup. I've ran these wheels with inner tubes, so the tape is nice and secure. I'm going to put the valve stem in first. You have a little nut here that holds the valve stem in place. You can't run it without this nut right here, otherwise it'll fall right into the tire and you're gonna lose pressure. So I'm gonna take the nut off so I could slide it through the rim. Oh, that's nice tight fit in there. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put that nut back on. And they say just to put it on hand tight. All right, so that's hand tight, and I got it in line with the rim so it's nice and aero. So you got aero over there, you know, that'd probably save you 1 or 2 watts there. And that's that, so that looks pretty good. Next, I'll mount the tire onto the rim. New GP5000 TL on here. And these are directional tires, so you wanna make sure that you have it in the right direction. That, my friends, was one of the hardest tires to ever get on there. Now that I have the tire on the rim, I'm going to inject the sealant. In my research, I have found 2 different ways of getting the sealant into the tire. One method is to actually pour the proper amount of sealant into the tire just before finishing the installation of the tire. I think the possibility of a mess can be huge here, so I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to inject it directly through the valve stem. With a syringe and the pre-measured amount of sealant, I can easily inject the sealant with minimal chance of a mess. Continental suggests injecting anywhere between 30 and 60 milliliters into these tires. Also, I have the valve stem cocked to the 4 o'clock position so the sealant will start distributing through the tire without it pouring back through the stem. So you don't want it to be at the 6 o'clock position. Now that I have the sealant in the tire, I'll give it a few spins to help distribute it through the tire. Next, in my research, I've seen that this is the hard part, pumping the tire with air and seating the bead. I've researched that using soapy water rubbed around the tire can create a temporary seal to assist in the tire seating process. Once I have enough pressure, I'm going to hear that distinct pop. Now I'm going to inflate the tire to the recommended pressure. I'm going to start around 90 psi and I'll play around with it as I ride. Now that the tire is ready to go, I'm going to mount it back onto the bike. All right, well, I finally got the Continental GP5000 TLs installed on these DT Swiss wheels. I've done some research and I did see that these GP5000 TLs fit extremely tight. They're probably the tightest fitting tubeless tires on the market, because I've seen other brands where, you know, guys are sticking them on the rim, you know, by hand, and I try to do it with these and it just totally kicked my butt. So, you know, I had to do some finagling and stuff like that. I had to edit some stuff out, otherwise you've been watching like 30 minutes worth of like, you know, me swearing and all kinds of stuff. But finally got them on there, got it all set up. Next is taking it out for a ride, seeing how it goes. I'll give you a full review and my thoughts on this tubeless setup. Is it worth it? Is it more comfortable? Is it giving me more puncture protection? That remains to be seen. So if you like this video, please subscribe. I'm a small YouTuber. Help support small YouTubers, just like small business. So like, subscribe, share, and check out my other videos. More to come, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you next time. Peace out.